The United States and Israel did not just bomb Iran, they went for the nerve center, the very top of the power structure, the leadership of the country. Starting this morning, explosions have echoed across Iran, in Tehran, in Isfahan, in Kermanshah, Tabriz, Qom, and even naval facilities in Kenaruk. But the most sensitive strikes were in North Tehran. And even there, one compound stood out. This is where Iran's supreme leader is known to reside. That is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He is the supreme leader. Reports say smoke was seen rising from this area, and the obvious question was, where was Khamenei? Where is Iran's supreme leader? Now, reports say that he moved to a secure location well in advance. And this is not unprecedented. We've seen this happen before. Last year, for instance, we saw a war in Iran, the 12-day war, and that's when the US struck Iran's nuclear sites. Khamenei was shifted to a bunker then. And last month, in January, there were similar reports. Khamenei was operating from an underground facility. So this time it was the same. He was taken to a safe area. But what about his condition? Is he safe? Well, one Israeli media report says that he has been injured. Another report says he could have been killed in the first wave of strikes. This is what the Israeli media is saying, that Khamenei could have been killed. Meanwhile, Iran says he is very much alive. Now, it's hard to verify which account is true. In the fog of war, there is a lot of information and misinformation doing the rounds, sometimes deliberately by the warring parties. So it's best to take things with a pinch of salt at this point. And while Khamenei's condition is not very clear, let's also look at the other target, the presidential palace in Tehran's Shemiran district. This is the residence of Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian. According to multiple reports, the American target list included all senior leadership figures. At the very top, of course, was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. He was the top target. Then you have Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, Iran's army chief, senior security decision makers, members of top defense councils, and commanders of the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. The IRGC is different from the army. The IRGC does not guard Iranian people. Its sole job is to protect the Iranian regime, the Ayatollah. Reports suggest that two of the top leadership were killed.
What you just saw now is what is going on right now. I said this I think a year ago, that we are heading for World War III. And the guy who actually promised that he's actually a guy of peace is actually the one leading us into these wars. Donald Trump, the president of the divided states. Because what you just saw now is the bombing of Iran, and, one of the prominent leaders in Iran has obviously been unalive, and the president of Iran as well, as you heard. And honestly speaking, I don't know really what's going on, because when we look at even how Gaddafi was unalive, there was this thing of he's a dictator and all those things, because remember, we are dealing with a war of information before we can even dealing with a war of unaliving people. First, they will start with propagandas, just like they did with Traore back then, when Michael Langley said that Traore was using the gold of his country for himself, to protect himself. Of course, why should he not? Who should use the gold, by the way, right? He is the leader of that country. Why should he not use the gold to protect himself, since you guys have been wanting to assassinate him like crazy? So that is how it started, And this Iran thing, to be quite honest, I was honestly proud of Iran in 2025 when, obviously we are not supposed to mention that name, when the Izoli, I would say that, bombed them. And then obviously I think the reason they actually have to renegotiate and so on is because Iran was showing their side of themselves that none of them knew. And apparently, I'm going to show another video here where apparently the Israeli defense of missiles is not able to actually get the missiles of Iran on time, meaning that it's apparently five times faster than the speed of light. And so the defense capacity of Israeli is not capable of getting that. So what we are seeing right now, it's almost like a little pinch of an iceberg, to be quite honest, because when somebody's poking the bear like that, like constantly, eventually the bear is going to act. And obviously, we know the divided states are very good at, very much technologically wise. They are good and, excellent and so on. However, you will never be able to know how capable the other side is until they actually start coming back at you. And that's what we're going to see over the next few days, because a lot of places has been attacked, like in Qatar, flights has been cancelled, Dubai and all that. This is what's going on, guys. Yeah, so let me put this video.
Coming to you with urgent breaking developments out of the Middle East. And tonight, the direction of this conflict has shifted in a way that nobody in Washington or Tel Aviv was prepared to see on their screens. Iran is striking Tel Aviv, right now, as we speak. Videos are flooding in from multiple sources on the ground in Israel. We are looking at footage showing large explosions in and around the Tel Aviv metropolitan area, fires visible across the skyline, emergency sirens audible in the background of every clip we are receiving, residents filming from windows, from rooftops, from streets as projectiles streak across the night sky. And here is the detail that is stopping every defense analyst we are speaking with tonight dead in their tracks. The Iron Dome is not stopping them. Israel's Iron Dome air defense system, the most battle-tested, most celebrated missile defense architecture in the world, is being penetrated tonight. Not overwhelmed in the sense of being fired at from multiple directions with conventional rockets. Penetrated, bypassed. The incoming projectiles are reaching their targets before the interception system can generate a successful kill. And the reason appears to be what Iran is firing. Iran has shifted to the Fatah missile. And if you are not familiar with that name, you need to be. Because the Fatah changes everything about this conflict and about every assumption that has been made regarding Iran's offensive capability. The Fatah, which translates from Farsi as conqueror, is Iran's domestically developed hypersonic ballistic missile. Iran unveiled it publicly in June 2023, and at the time, Western analysts treated it with a degree of skepticism. The consensus in most defense circles was that Iranian claims about the missile's performance were exaggerated, that the technology was aspirational rather than operational, that Iran was showing the world a weapon it wanted to have rather than one it could actually use effectively in combat. Tonight, that skepticism is being revised in real time. Hypersonic missiles travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5, 5 times the speed of sound. The Fatah is claimed by Iran to reach speeds of Mach 13 to Mach 15 in its terminal phase, the final portion of its flight path as it descends toward its target. At those speeds, the time available for an interceptor missile to detect, track, calculate an intercept solution, launch, and reach the incoming threat before it arrives is measured not in minutes, but in seconds. In some engagement geometries, the available response window falls below what current interceptor technology can operationally achieve.
As I said, we are going into full-blown war. Like World War III is just around the corner, to be quite honest. And I think one of the things that I kind of unhappy about is the fact that 110 children, mostly girls, I think, because it was a girls' school that was attacked, was actually unalive during the bombing of Iran, and no one seems to care about it. Like, honestly speaking, I have not seen any outrage, like, anywhere. But if it was whitish children, we know what that will look like. That's why you realize in this world, some lives are counted as more valuable than others. And that's a problem. That is what most countries are up against right now. So now I'm wondering if the divided states could actually attack Iran in that kind of way, and I guess everybody is quiet. I'm not talking about the general public. I'm talking about the leaders. No one is actually coming out to really talk against what's going on. So how safe is Africa then? Like, how safe are we, guys, honestly speaking? Anyway, from me, Jehovah, take care. And yeah, let's just be prayerful.
Kelly